One of the things I've found that high handicap players, one of the mistakes they make is they're too worried about the ball. And they're looking at the top of the ball. Somebody's told them to stare at a dimple. Keep your head down.
I've been guilty of that one.
Yep, and it's the worst advice in golf. We have to have the correct turf interaction. That's what we're looking for. If you hit the turf correctly, you'll play good golf. The ball just gets in the way.
Yep. So my big thing when I see myself on video, a lot of times I notice when I go to make a swing, I'm exaggerating here, but like I get too open here, and I think that's what maybe
Makes you flip.
makes me flip.
If you don't flip, you're going to go right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. So go ahead and address the ball. And so all summer we've worked on your takeaway, right?
Yep.
All right. And so what position are you trying to get in your takeaway halfway back when the club's parallel to the ground? Show me. All right. So what does the club face look like?
I believe it's square to my spine.
It is.
Yeah.
So that's square.
Yep.
Therefore, on the way back down, that's exactly the same position it has to be in by the time you're back here.
Absolutely.
So if you are here on the way down, the only way you can from here to there in a split second is to flip with your hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's where you always get like this.
Yeah.
Much better than you used to be. But
still,
so,
there's some, yeah.
So in my opinion, the drill to do at home is that's where we want to be. So now go to the top of your backswing. Okay, so you're great there. Now as we would come down, we've got to be like that again. And so go ahead and let go. Let me walk in here. So see my right hand, when I do this little cross-handed drill here and that matches up my spine, do you see how my right hand's pointed like this?
Yeah.
See, it's not like that. It's like that to be square. So matches my spine angle. And so when I'm up here, I've got to feel the same way on the way down. And so that's what I would do at home while you're watching our videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can just practice this, and then from here, then we're just going to swing through.
What do you think my swing looks like if you were to emulate that first half of it until you get to that point? Like, what do you think?
Well, I think a couple things happen. I think you've really gotten better here, and you're getting a lot better. Your position back here at the top's really good these days. Okay. But then I think you go that way, and then
my first move goes that
like
way,
that.
And I need to go more
and then
down.
You go like this to go down to the ball, and then the face doesn't. It's open.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's this move here first, and then this move that gets you in trouble. So see, this is where I've got my shoulders have to stay back, and I have to feel this motion first, and then go through.
Okay.
I was seeing last night. I was watching the Kapalua tournament, the Century tournament, and the commentary in Golf Central or whatever, Brandel Chambly made a comment on what he sees all professionals, tour professionals do that amateurs don't, is that their shoulders are square at impact. And yes, most of them are. And most amateurs are open, and I couldn't agree more with him. And if you do my belly button drill, you'll see impact's always square shoulders. If I'm like this, the club's always going to be open and behind me, and I either got to come over to catch up or everything's going way right.
Yeah.
And so but see, if up here at the top, if my first move is like this, well, there's no way my shoulders can be square at impact.
Makes sense, yeah.
Understand?
Because they're too open already.
They're too open.
Yeah.
You've opened them at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So these best players, they're back here. This club's working this way first, and their shoulders don't even start to go forward, and then everything
they turn.
goes together.
And you've talked about that before, that the sequence in golf should be back and then up, and then down, and then around.
That's right. So the sequence in the golf swing, go ahead and set up, is around, and then up, and then it's down, and then it's around.
Okay.
So that's the correct sequence in a full swing.
So I need to be this. This needs to be my first move, and
Yeah.
then turn.
Yes, sir. And so as you go back, go ahead and do that. Good. And then slow motion, come down slow, slow.
To get to there.
Parallel to the ground,
Okay.
parallel to target line right here.
So that's probably what I need to work on is this move first.
That's right.
What about
No,
your wrist?
Don't worry about that at all.
Don't worry about that. Just
You have plenty of angle there.
okay. And then
Yep.
and then turn.
And then we're going to go to our heel line over there with
Sure,
the
yeah,
face. Still looks like your spine angle there.
like that.
Right.
That looks pretty good right there.
Perfect.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yeah, because that's the other problem. I get there and then it's
Well,
like
you have to. See, if it's open on the way down,
Right.
you have to get closed on the way
well, otherwise
through.
everything's going right or a
That's
shank.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit behind myself
you are too.
there.
So you could parallel the ground, parallel, there you go.
So I think my natural tendency right now is getting stuck behind.
I agree. And then you have to flip.
Interesting. Okay, so that's a big light bulb moment for me. So I need to be more here.
Yes.
And it's along my toe line is where that needs
That's
to line
right.
up.
Parallel to your target line.
So I think I'm feeling this has been my swing, and I need to be more here.
And that could be my fault. You know, when I hold this stick here, you can exaggerate going under that and get it behind you too much. But yes. When I was young, they used to talk about the best players got the club in the slot.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Go ahead and set up there. I'm probably in the way of the camera, but if I hold two alignment sticks here, that's the slot.
Okay.
So the club's got to be
back to this.
It's going to go through that on the way back, ideally, if you're going to swing on the same shaft angle back and down, and then it's going to go through that slot again on the way down. And then when,
They ought to make an invention like that.
Yep.
Have one.
I don't know.
That'd be something we patent that
So
one.
go ahead and let go and stand over here. So one of my best swing thoughts for me as a player years ago, when I was a pretty good player 25 years ago, is I could feel this club right here on the way down. And that is what I felt like. I was right here. I could feel that position, and I could hit it from there. And man, when I felt that and I was playing, I mean, it was just like laser beams with irons, And
do you feel that same with your driver?
Oh,
like
sure.
Every club you're feeling that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And man, I could just feel that position perfect here as I was swinging every time. I mean, I hit zillions of balls, and I thought about that position. And that's one of the ways I learned to practice was I would get this club in the correct position here, and then I would just swing through it and hit shots from there. And, it ends up being a pretty good shot.
So you think that's a good drill for me to do to get down to that position and then work on hitting through?
And so if you're trying to feel what this position feels like, just do it. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And hit shots from there. Gosh, hit buckets of balls. It's a pretty good feeling to feel like, and I like to just get a little momentum from there, and then I can hit it.
Yeah.
And gosh, I've done it with driver, I've done it with pitch and wedge, and I'm just trying to get that club to swing through that position and hit it every time. That last swing's +1 on the club path. That's pretty much what I am, right?
Yeah.
On my normal swing. So I'm hitting that 60 yards. I'm not trying to hit it very far, but boy, I can just get in this position and I can just hit it from there.
Yeah.
And it's great practice.
Absolutely.
+1.8 club path. You can see I even go farther back than I feel like I'm going in my backswing. I feel like I'm right here, and you can see the video that I'm not.
Yeah.
And but you can see how that matches up with my spine angle, and that's a great drill, and that's how I do it. And we just want to feel that same way. I want to be this way on my way back, and I want to be this way on my way down. And if I'm like this, well, then I'm always stuck, and then I got to start flipping at the bottom.
Absolutely.
Make sense?
Yeah, that does.
All right. Yep.
So that
Yeah,
right there looks
absolutely.
good.
Just hit it. Great.
So that might be my next big drill to be
It might
working
be.
on here, huh? It makes a lot of sense.
Still a little behind you on that last, but that was still
that?
better,
Okay.
yeah. Yep.
So I need to
Yep.
really get there.
Yeah. Good. But you can see 0 club path, -2 on the attack angle for you is pretty good.
Absolutely.
That should have felt great,
That
right?
did, yeah.
Yeah. -4 on the attack angle, -3 on a club path. That's pretty good for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's where we're trying to be. You can see how straight you hit that one. You
Yeah.
hit that 60 yards, no effort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Hit one more for me.
Okay. That one, the face is a little open on that one.
It
huh?
was.
Yeah.
And it was behind you there.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just keep swinging. It's all right. Good.
That felt
So-
pretty
So
good.
you hit that one harder. That's
Yeah.
what I wanted you to do. That went 100 yards.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a 7-iron, right? Right.
Which
So
is probably
how
like
high is that trajectory?
what does that go to? Probably.
Not very high.
Yeah,
Would you
yeah.
agree that?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I can tell you. I mean, we could look over here and 38 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's
your
not too
normal shot's around 90.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is off the subject, but I find it fascinating. So we just hit 100. So just think if the wind was blowing 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour in your face.
Yeah.
And you wanted to hit a knockdown shot.
Yeah. That's perfect, right?
You just did it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
You swing easier. And that controls the trajectory. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
Most people play the ball back in their stance and put their
That's
hands
how I've
forward.
historically done it.
Yes, and they deloft the club.
Yeah.
And it starts the ball low, but it puts a lot of backspin on the
So
ball.
zip up.
And so it zips
Yeah.
up and it's
Yeah.
not a knockdown shot.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
you practice with no wind on the driving range, that looks pretty good. But when you go play and it's windy,
you'll see it balloon up there.
Yes,
Yeah,
and it
'cause
doesn't
it's got
go
more
anywhere.
spin. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So the best players control their trajectory by how big a swing they make. And so instead of hitting pitching wedge 100 yards when it's really windy, man, you could hit a 7-iron with that same swing you just made.
Yeah.
It'll work. Does
That's
that make
great.
sense?
Yeah.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
And let's see what the spin was on that. Only 3,800.
Yeah.
And your typical 7-iron will be about 7,000.
Okay.
It's about 1,000
So
RPMs for every degree,
Every club.
for
you
every
go-
club
yeah,
number
okay.
on the club.
Oh, that's a good thing to know.
Yeah,
Okay.
so 9-irons 9,000,
Yeah, yeah.
5-irons 5,000.
Okay.
Makes sense.
That's
Drivers,
for a typical full
1,000,
swing, yeah.
1,500, yes. That's for a full swing.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, but if we can knock the spin rate down, then and control the trajectory, then it stays low. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? And
Yeah.
doesn't balloon in the air. And your smash factor on that last swing was amazing, 1.4.
Yeah.
With
That's,
a
I've never had that for a 7.
I know. Most people don't. That's almost a driver smash
Yeah.
factor for most people.
Yeah.
So good swinging.
That's good.
All right.
Oh, I like that. I think that's gonna be my new move to.
Yeah, and then the
Focus
other
on it.
thing, what I would tell you, go grab your 56-degree sand wedge. So that same little drill, you can do the same thing with a wedge. So you're just going to go halfway back. You're going to be just like that.
Yeah.
On the way down, it's like that, and you're going to hit it.
And just
And so
only
only
go to here.
you're only going to
saying-
hit it 20 yards, 30
Yeah.
yards. That makes sense. But just so this is how you learn to feel that position, and then not only are you practicing that position, but you're actually hitting a shot that you're going to hit on that you need to hit on the golf course. Whenever you want to hit a 20-yard shot.
That's great. Yeah.
Does that make so you're killing two birds with one stone? You're practicing your full swing technique, but you're improving your short game at the same time.
No, that's great. Yeah.
All right?
That makes a lot of sense.
All right. Good. Let's do it again. Go ahead and set up for me. So if you're going to do this with sand wedge, we're going to set up like a sand wedge.
Okay.
So feet need to be closer together.
Yep.
Ball a little farther back. Shoulders level. Not. Yep.
Am I too much
you're
this
too
way?
much that way. And then do that backswing. Good. Do it again. A little fat. That's okay. Good. 27 yards, though. That was pretty good. Club path 5 to the right. You're actually to the right.
On the
First time ever. So that means you're 2 inside on the backswing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not on your toe line. So that's okay. Good. Keep playing. Pretty good, huh?
That's more neutral. Yeah.
Yeah, if we can get the attack angle better, it'd be better. But that's good. Jeez.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So do you think?
So let me show you one more thing. So we need to get this attack angle. So you're hitting behind the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're doing this drill, especially indoors,
Put a tee and try to get the
yes, we gotta hit. We're bottoming out at the tee, not the ball.
Yeah, okay.
And you're still gonna do that same backswing and that same position. So don't even look at the ball, look at the tee.
Look at the tee. That seemed better.
I bet, huh? Went to -4.
There we go. Okay.
Understand?
So let me ask you a question. So when you're hitting an iron or a sand wedge, whatever, do you look at the ball or are you looking in front of the ball when you're like when you're actually playing or also when practicing?
It's a good question. I would contend that really great players are aware the ball's down there, but they're not staring at it.
They're not looking at it, yeah.
And so I know many players that look in front of the ball a couple inches. I know many other players that look at the grass instead of looking at the ball. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of beginners make the mistake of looking at the top of the ball. Then they wonder why that's what they're hitting.
Yeah.
And so if I'm going to hit a correct shot, this ball needs to hit here in my club face. Well, look, this bottom edge is an inch below that.
Sure, yeah.
And so I have to hit the turf correctly, not the ball. And so I like the target to be the turf rather than the ball.
So even for a driver, then would you aim
Same
a little
thing.
on the other side though, right? Because you want to catch it
'cause
slightly
hit it on
up.
the
So
way
like
up.
maybe aim at the ground an inch behind or so.
3 inches behind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
That's interesting. I've never thought about that.
Yep. I think that's the biggest mistake that high handicappers make is they're too worried about the ball.
Yeah.
The ball just gets in the way.
Yeah.
We're making a swinging motion and the ball gets in the way.
Yeah.
That could be a whole nother video.
It probably should be, huh?
It should be, really, yeah. Good. And I like putting that tee out in front and learning to hit that.
Yeah, that was good again.
Absolutely. Look here, +1 on the club path.
Yeah.
Isn't that good? A nice 40-yard carry shot.
Yeah. That's perfect. That's something I always have looked at
And look,
the top of the ball.
remember how I told you last time, we
Yeah.
like club path and swing direction to match up, and it did.
Those are great. Yeah, those are awesome.
Understand? Yeah. Awesome.
That's a big light bulb thing for me.
Good.
I'm gonna start aiming in front of the ball like that.
Good. I like it.
That's good. Cool.
Good job as always.
Thanks.
Yep, see you.